It's noon in Kiev, and I welcome all viewers of the Afridam TV channel. This is our time, and here are the main news stories at this hour. In the studio, Valeria Klemenko. Russia has launched 115 drones at Ukraine. According to the Ukrainian Air Force, more than half of them were Shahids launched overnight. Ukrainian defenders neutralized 97 drones of various types in the north, south, east, and center of Ukraine. There were drone strikes at several locations. At 2 sites, drone debris fell. Today, Russia once again attacked Ukraine's railway infrastructure. This time, it happened in the Odesa region, according to Zaporizhzhia. No staff or passengers were injured. Trains were stopped at a safe distance from the impact sites. Service has already been restored, but some trains are running with delays. On Saturday night, Zaporizhzhia came under attack from Russian drones around midnight. The city was attacked by 2 drones. The explosions partially destroyed a supermarket building. More than a dozen kiosks were damaged, and windows were blown out in 2 apartment buildings. Power lines were also damaged. About 10,000 apartments were left without electricity. As of now, power workers have already restored electricity to the homes of Zaporizhzhia residents. A resident of Dnipropetrovsk region was injured by Russian drones. That night, drones attacked the Sinelnikov district. As a result of the drone strike, several fires broke out. Private homes, outbuildings, garages, cars, as well as public buildings were damaged. The previous evening, the Russians struck Nikopol and the Pokrovska community with drones. There is damage on the territory of an industrial enterprise. It was also tense today in Russia. Drones attacked the Tingovatovo oil pumping station. The head of the region, Oleg Nikolaev, confirmed the strike on the facility in Chuvashia. According to him, the station's operations have been suspended. The facility is located near the village of Kanner, more than 1,000 kilometers from the border with Ukraine. According to information from open sources, the Tingovatovo station has 6 storage tanks with a total capacity of 120,000 cubic meters. This facility has been attacked before. In June of this year, it had already suspended operations due to a drone strike. I should note that the station is part of the Chuvashia oil pipeline, which is used to transport oil to the port of Novorossiysk. 85 strategic military targets have been hit on Russian territory in less than 2 months, including defense industry facilities that produce weapons, ammunition, engines, rocket fuel, and drones. Ukraine continues to scale up attacks on Russian oil refineries, and the resulting fuel shortage has also affected the supply to the Russian army. Natalia Gusick will share the details.
On the night of September 26th, drones attacked the Afipsky oil refinery in the Krasnodar region. It specializes in producing gasoline and diesel fuel, which is used in particular to supply the Russian army. In the past 2 months alone, this refinery has already been shut down 3 times due to drone strikes, and over the course of the full-scale war, this was the 7th attack.
On the night of September 26th, a unit of the Unmanned Systems Forces of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, in coordination with other components of the defense forces, struck the facilities of the Afipsky oil refinery. This refinery is located in the Krasnodar region and mainly produces gasoline, diesel fuel, and aviation kerosene. Its annual processing volume is about 6,250,000 tons. It is involved in supplying the occupying REF army. A hit and fire have been confirmed. And this is a statement from the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine on Facebook.
More than 80 important targets have been hit on Russian territory in less than 2 months, reported the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, Alexander Syrsky. Most of these are military-industrial complex facilities, and the list of successful operations by the Ukrainian armed forces also includes the oil refining sector.
The effectiveness of deep strike has been confirmed not only by us, but has also been highly praised by our partners. You are already familiar with the results. This is a fuel crisis on REF territory, which has a direct impact on the logistics and supply of its army. The capabilities of the enemy's military-industrial complex have been significantly reduced, and we can see this on the battlefield. This has forced the Russian fleet to hide at the base in Novorossiysk, only coming out for short periods to launch missile strikes, and then returning to shelter again. This has also forced the enemy to pull its tactical aviation a significant distance away from the front line, said Oleksandr Syrsky, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, while speaking with journalists.
All of this is gradually depriving REF of the ability to continue its war against Ukraine, according to Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky.
The most effective sanctions, the ones that work as quickly as possible, are the fires at Russian oil refineries, their terminals, and oil depots. They have significantly restricted the Russian oil industry, and this is limiting the war. The Russian war is essentially a function of oil, a function of gas, and of all other Russian energy resources.
Already now, the Russian Federation is facing a fuel shortage in almost all regions, and it is only getting worse due to daily strikes on oil refineries. An additional factor was the ban on the export of gasoline and diesel from Russia until the end of the year, which has already led to production stoppages and the use of reserves. In total, the country has already lost more than 44 million tons of refining capacity per year. That's almost 1/6 of all capacity.
I can't even imagine what will happen if there's no diesel at all. All these trucks, I don't know, deliveries, everything will come to a halt, our work will stop, and really, the whole city will shut down. So I don't know what people are driving on. There's not even a second option. All the gas stations are empty, completely empty.
Pro-Kremlin economists have warned that a third of the economy could be on the verge of bankruptcy, reports the Moscow Times. According to an analysis by Ukraine's Foreign Intelligence Service, Russia's defense spending has risen to nearly 8% of GDP. The military-industrial complex has become the main driver of demand. This has allowed the Kremlin to maintain growth in strategic sectors, but at the same time, it has destroyed the balance and left private business and civilian industries on the sidelines.
The budget is already showing signs of exhaustion. In the first half of 2025, federal treasury revenues fell by almost 17%. Mainly, this is due to a decrease in oil and gas revenues, which are now being sold at a significant discount. The growth in oil and gas revenues does not make up for the losses. The Ministry of Finance is being forced to raise taxes and introduce new fees. However, this only puts more pressure on businesses. And now, a report from the Ukrainian Foreign Intelligence Service on the agency's website.
Thus, Russia has ended up in its own military rent trap. The Kremlin cannot sharply reduce military spending without causing a collapse, but continuing to finance the war is becoming increasingly difficult. Natalia Husik, Stenjlov Academy, for Freedom TV channel.
Soon, Russia's economy may no longer be able to cope with the costs of the war. This was stated by Gerd Kao, a representative of the Estonian Ministry of Defense. According to him, the agency has not seen any signs that the fighting will end soon. Kao added that Ukrainian strikes on oil refineries are directly impacting Russia's economic difficulties.
Ukraine's tactics have improved, and the drones themselves have become more technically advanced. The amount of explosives has increased, the speed has gone up, and detectability has decreased. All of this combined is producing results. In addition, the number of citizens in Russia eligible for military service is decreasing. Gerd Kao, head of the Combat Readiness Department at the Estonian Ministry of Defense.
In Sweden, 2 unidentified drones were spotted circling above the country's main naval base. Local media are reporting on this. Police responded to the scene, and according to their information, the drones resemble those previously spotted over Denmark and Norway. None of the drones were shot down. Swedish law enforcement classified the incident as a violation of aviation law. The UN is imposing broader sanctions against Iran. The reason was the failure of nuclear deal negotiations between the EU and Tehran. This was stated by German Foreign Minister Johann Waitfuhl.
We offered many opportunities to reach a new solution through negotiations, but Iranian officials did not take advantage of them, so sanctions will be imposed. However, there will always be room for diplomacy. Johann Waitfuhl, German Foreign Minister.
Iran has significantly accelerated the construction of a fortified underground facility near the nuclear complex in Natanz. This is evidenced by satellite images that experts analyzed for the Washington Post. The publication notes that the exact purpose of the facility remains unknown. IAEA inspectors have never visited, and as Iran has rejected all their requests, according to the Washington Post, the underground halls could be located at depths of up to 100 meters, making them even more protected than Fordow. Let me remind you, on June 22nd, the nuclear complex in Natanz was bombed by the United States. North Korean dictator Kim Jong Un has ordered the strengthening of the so-called nuclear shield and sword of the DPRK. The day before, he held a meeting with officials and scientists from the Nuclear Weapons Research Institute, according to local media. Kim Jong Un stated that further development of the nuclear program is the country's top priority. It is worth noting that North Korea regularly conducts weapons tests, which are often accompanied by provocations in the maritime or airspace of neighboring countries.
Subscribe to UATV English and stay updated on the most important events, top news from Ukraine and all over the world, in-depth analysis, exclusive reports and interviews, all on hand in our channel. Join our community of viewers and stay tuned.